All right. So I think I have something that may explain the Mandela effect a little bit that maybe some people don't look into as much. Um, Everybody's mentioned the butterfly effect. When you go back in time and you change one little tiny thing, the flutter of a butterfly can change things dramatically. I don't know 100% about the continents getting bigger or smaller, islands moving here and there. I don't really know. Because I'm not a geography guy. I'm a history buff though. And one thing that I know for sure is when I was going to school and I learned about American history, there sure as hell wasn't any German terrorist attack on the United States. I mean, as far as I remember, the only, real attack on the United States was Pearl Harbor and 9/11. Well, minus the bombing of the Twin Towers prior to the 9/11 deal. But anyway, nothing real as serious as 9/11 and Pearl Harbor. However, all of a sudden we have this German terrorist attack in like somewhere on the East Coast. I just figured it was all bullshit, so I didn't read it. I mean, I don't know where the fuck it come from. So anyway, what my realization is that the whole if we can trace this back to the very, very first event or the very first thing that is different, we can probably kind of pinpoint exactly what point in time they went back and fucked with. You know, obviously we know the JFK assassination is different. Okay, well, even farther back than that is that German terrorist attack in the United States. So there's an event in our history that is different, that is new, that's something that, well, most of us have never heard of. So that's an event in history that happened that, it's earlier than JFK. So we got to go back even farther to find out exactly what point in time they jumped to. When I was a kid, I remember seeing the GIF, choosy moms choose GIF commercials. And it was in I don't know, the 90s, 99, 2000, somewhere around there. Um, but I remember seeing the commercial and I'm like, well, that sucks. Why did they change it? Why did they change the name of Jiffy to GIF? That's just stupid. I just kind of chalked it up to being, oh, they're just trying to be cool and hip and all kinds of, whatever. But I remember where I was at when I seen the very first Choosy Moms Choose GIF commercial, because I always knew it as Jiffy. And this was in 99, 2000, somewhere around there. So the Mandela effect has been with us for a while. And it was probably around the same time frame that I went back and watched Star Wars. And, I was watching Star Wars waiting for that iconic line to pop up in the movie. And it never happened. And I remember exactly where I was. I was working for a guy on a farm because me and a couple other kids were horsing around at school, and his boy ended up getting his arm broke. So I was working for the guy, kind of trying to work off the medical expenses and filling in for the kid because the kid wasn't able to work, just doing the right thing. But it was in their house, and it was I don't know, I'd say 10 o'clock at night or something when I was watching it. in their living room. And the iconic line never happened. So, I mean, that was, God, it had to been like 99, 2000, somewhere right around there. So we got those two changes that I'm able to pinpoint, kind of, because, I mean, maybe the Star Wars line changed prior to that, but I remember laying on the couch, watching that movie, waiting for that, Luke, I am your father. And it never came. I mean, that line never came. And I was disappointed. I was like, well, that's gay. Why'd they fucking change that? That's bullshit. And then again with the Jiffy, I was standing in the living room of the house that my dad just had built, and I was watching TV. It was the summertime, and I was like, the fuck? Why'd they change it from Jiffy to Jif? That's stupid. So basically, around that time frame, somebody jumped back in time and changed something. Like maybe a miniature watch that they found in like Egypt or something. I don't know what kind of watch that is, but I bet you if you do a Google search on that watch that they found, that little miniature Swiss watch or whatever, I'd put money on it that particular watch was probably only sold in, I don't know, the late 80s, 90s, early 90s, somewhere around there. I'd put money on it that specific type of watch was made in that specific time frame, and some stupid ass went back in time, left his fucking watch there, and it changed the course of history. Because it only takes, like they say, the flutter of a butterfly wing to change everything dramatically. So, I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. I mean, it's one theory. It's one hypothesis, I guess, is what you call it. But those things I do remember for certain. There were pretty large life events that happened right around that time, and it was the Star Wars one. It was the very, 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 very first time that I have ever watched Star Wars, and I'd always heard everybody, Luke, I am your father, Luke, I am your father, and then when I didn't hear it in the movie, I was like, what the fuck? That's some bullshit. Why is everybody saying it when it's not in the movie? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it changed back in the 90s. Late 90s, early, like 2000 at the most. Earliest is 2000, the year 2000. Yeah. Anyway, with that, I'm going to jump off. I'm going to make another video where I'm just going to piss people off. It's going to be hilarious. You guys got to check it out. It's going to be badass. So, just keep trucking along. If you guys haven't seen my song that I posted on here yet, you guys got to check that out too. Me and my buddy Seth wrote it. Performed it. We recorded it on a loop pedal. I don't know if you know what that is, but if you don't know what it is, I'm not gonna Google it. Just Google it. But we recorded it on a loop pedal, which is why the audio is so quiet. I mean, you can hear the guitars and everything just fine, but you can't hear the vocals very well. So, I mean, check it out. It's actually a pretty cool song. So, we'll talk to you guys later. Peace.